When today's kids hear the name Ronaldo, they immediately think of Cristiano Ronaldo. And rightfully so. Cristiano has become one of the most prolific goal scorers in the history of the game and is arguably one of the greatest players to ever play football. But for a whole other generation, the name Ronaldo is synonymous with this guy, a player who some people believe to be the greatest ever footballer to ever live. Now, the title of the greatest ever is something only reserved for the truly special and extraordinary, and Ronaldo the Brazilian was exactly that. Born on 18th September 1976, Ronaldo, just like many Brazilian kids, wanted to become a professional football player. But unlike many of them, Ronaldo was head and shoulders above the rest with his skills. He made his professional debut at the age of 16 for Cruzeiro, helping his side win the Copa do Brasil while scoring a jaw-dropping 44 goals in 47 games, the type of numbers that made people quickly compare him to none other than Pelé. Ronaldo was selected for the 1994 World Cup, which Brazil won, but he did not play in that tournament. Soon after the World Cup, Ronaldo went to the Dutch league to play for PSV Eindhoven after fellow teammate and Brazil legend Romario advised him to join the team. Ronaldo would play 2 seasons for PSV, scoring 54 goals in 58 games. These are Messi and Ronaldo worthy numbers, but by a player who was not even 20 years old yet. At PSV, Ronaldo won the Dutch Cup and was the top scorer of the league in the 1995 season. These kind of statistics don't go unnoticed, especially by the giants of European football. So Inter Milan and FC Barcelona began to fight to sign Ronaldo, but it was Barcelona who would eventually sign him, paying the 19.5 million euros, which back then was a world record fee for the services of the Brazilian. At FC Barcelona, Ronaldo would get even better, scoring 47 goals in 49 games for the Blaugrana. Practically unheard of statistics by a player at any age, let alone one who was only 20 years old. And because of this, he won the 1996 FIFA Best Player in the World when he was only 20. With the world at his feet and probably the only player who could say he was the true heir to Pelé's throne, not only was he the best young player in the world, he was the best player in the world, period. Ronaldo only spent 1 season at Barcelona because of bad contract negotiations between the two parties. So Inter Milan, who were reluctant to pay a year earlier 19.5 million euros, was so impressed by him at FC Barcelona, they paid 27 million euros to get him to play for them. Ronaldo remains the only player to break the world record signing in back-to-back summer transfer windows. But that's just how good he was. Jose Mourinho, who was working at Barcelona during the time that Ronaldo played there, said that he was the greatest player he had ever seen, and the title of the greatest would not be an exaggeration because he truly was phenomenal. So after Inter Milan paid the world record 27 million euros for him, Ronaldo pretty much did the exact same thing and won Serie A Footballer of the Year in his first season, scoring 25 goals in the process and winning the Ballon d'Or and FIFA World Player of the Year. Simultaneously, during his rise through PSV, FC Barcelona and Inter Milan, Ronaldo established himself as the #1 striker for the Brazilian national team, and in the 1998 World Cup, he led his side to the World Cup final against France. Brazil lost 3-0, but that final is not only remembered for Zidane's brilliant performance, but Ronaldo actually suffered a seizure the night before the game and was advised not to play the final by the doctor. But in spite of all of this, he did. I'll link a video in the description if you want to know more about this truly bizarre situation, so check it out if you want to know more. After the 3-0 loss and the seizure, Ronaldo was back at Inter trying to win more trophies and further establish himself as one of the GOATs. But this is where the story gets sad.
Because if there is one thing that can truly stop a player or an athlete in any sports from achieving greatness, it's injuries. And that's exactly what happened to Ronaldo. On November 21st, 1999, Ronaldo suffered a knee injury that would keep him out for 6 months. And when he came back after those 6 months, he played a total of 6 minutes before his knee completely ruptured, forcing him out of the game for nearly 2 years. 2 years that we missed out on seeing the most promising player since Diego Maradona and the most promising Brazilian since Pelé himself. These 2 years represent tragedy not only in Ronaldo's career, but in the footballing world in general. Just imagine if Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi got injured and were out of the game for 2 years. The absolute power vacuum that would cause, and the many incredible goals and football that we would miss out on because of an injury would make the footballing world much less entertaining. But that's exactly what happened. But despite an injury that would make some players completely retire, Ronaldo came back like a phoenix and rose from the ashes just in time for the 2002 World Cup. Now, mind you, before Ronaldo joined the national team, Brazil were not favorites at all. Matter of fact, people expected very little from Brazil in that tournament. Yes, they did have quality players, but their performances leading up to the World Cup were not so convincing. Enter Ronaldo the phenomenon, a player who had played very little football leading up to the World Cup. But as they say in football, form is temporary, but class is permanent. Ronaldo showcased the highest levels of class and scored 8 goals to help his side win the World Cup and finish top scorer despite nearly a 2-year hiatus from football. Ronaldo still looked like a world beater and proved to the world that he still is one of the best players ever. After the World Cup, Ronaldo headed off to Madrid and was one of the marquee signings in the Galactico project. Ronaldo would go on to spend 4 years at the Bernabeu, scoring 104 times in 174 appearances, winning La Liga twice during his time in Madrid. After this, Ronaldo went to play for AC Milan and then finally finished his career at Corinthians. Now, although he was still a good player, after the injuries and still one of the best strikers in the world, he just seemed different. He was no more the same explosive, quick, on-the-ball world beater as he was before the injury. No one doubted his quality after the injury, but people often wonder. Ronaldo, in my opinion, is on the same level as Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi. Not only did he showcase his brilliance from a young age, but the fact that he had what could have been a career-ending injury and still remained one of the best players in the world showcases just how incredible he was. People often wonder just how good he truly could have been, which is the case with most Brazilian players recently. What if Ronaldo had not gotten injured? What if Ronaldinho focused more on football than partying? What if Robinho was more interested in football than money, which is a predicament a certain Neymar finds himself currently in? All in all, we will never truly know how good Ronaldo could have been, but what we do know are the incredible moments, the amazing goals, and jaw-dropping matches that Ronaldo played. And all of those should be more than enough evidence to put Ronaldo as one of the greatest to ever play the game. There you have it. If you liked the video, like, share, subscribe, and peace.